Biggest surprise of my trip, Pine Needles. Liked it more than Pinehurst number 2, I'd say. Tobacco Road's my favorite, and Pinehurst number 4 and Pine Needles were my second favorite. This course has some of the most visually stunning and well-framed holes I've played, especially in North Carolina. Opening hole, fairly easy par 5 that I just made a blunder of. A bunch of like really pulley shots. Left myself with the Donald Ross chip. I almost made the par conversion on that, but I missed it. Really cool architecture behind. This is a 440-yard par 4, so obviously I'm going to pull it. And then there's the, oh my god, I'm the worst golfer ever, topped it. Hit like if you relate to that. And then, my feet alignment is just, in retrospect, really awful. That's like my comfort place, is to have my feet aimed all the way right, because I think that, like, when I tried to golf at first, I tried to hit the ball and I'd slice it, so it's my comfort. Just really nice looking holes. That's like the theme of this. Now we got a Donald Ross false front. Thankfully, the greens here were recently punched, which were not awesome in some degrees, but I got away with a up and down there because of that. This par 3 is framed so well, and on this given day, it definitely played a club shorter. I hit a gap wedge and flew the green. So if you come here, error on the side of a less club, even though there's hazards to the front. It really is a hard up and down from the back, and I think I'm going to demonstrate how hard of an up and down it is. I didn't get up and down there. That was actually really funny. I hit a good drive, and then my club fell out of my hand. It was like the most uncool dude thing to ever do, but pretty uncool dude. This course, Pine Needles, feels like Spyglass to me. It just feels like a southern Spyglass. It feels like the back 9 forest holes at Spyglass is what Pine Needles is. It's like an 18-hole extension of the back 9 of Spy. Really cool. Race that one by. Once again, another Lukie 3-putt. This course, I hate when people are like, oh, this is a really hard 205 par 3. Hazard all down your right. Trouble. Very tight, area to hit into. I hate when people are like, oh, when you go there, it's harder. This really is like a more hilly, challenging walk than you'd expect. And I would also say that, if you're watching this, obviously you're more than likely probably better than me at golf, but it's going to be more challenging than you expect. These fairways look wide open, but they actually, where the fairway ends, it goes into pine straw. So you miss a fairway and you're greatly punished. This was one of the cooler drives on the front 9, because if you really bombed it, you could catch a speed slope and really be out far. Really like the use of bunkers at this course, because unlike any other that I had seen on my Pinehurst trip, Donald Ross incorporated bunkers in front of the green, maybe 10 to 15 feet. So you think they're close, but they're actually not close. This is a hole that's all about strategy. It's a really long par 4, had to bomb it, missed out a little right. And when you miss a little right, as I've said before, you hit these sandy areas, rub of the green, you never know what your lie is going to be, and then the trees come into play. Obviously, been struggling with ball striking. On this video in particular, the way the ball sounds, it's very clunky. This is not one of my better rounds of ball striking ever. Fit that through the trees and got up in 2 for bogey here. But just a really interesting. It doesn't feel like you're hitting the same drives over and over. It doesn't feel like you're playing the same hole over and over. And that was kind of my complaint with number 2, where number 2 was kind of like taking the SAT, and you're just kind of looking at the same exam material, but each one challenges your cognitive functions. This hole felt very much like a forest community that has unique holes, gradually getting better and better, as I feel most golf courses should. So I was starting to get into the zone, kind of getting hot. Oh my god, pulled it. I actually played the wrong ball on this hole. I actually found my real ball after I hit this, but I wanted to hit a deep woods punch shot just because I felt like that's part of Pine Needles. I know that sounds like a lie for me to cover. That was so gross, but it's kind of sick that I included it. Put it in this bunker, and this is one of my better bunker shots of the day, and I actually got up and down for a sandy right there, which felt really good. This is my favorite hole because I'd watched this over and over at the U.S. Women's Open, and just to stand over this tee shot and execute when I may or may not ever get to play this course again, it's really a special moment, you know, because this is like probably, if I could have one good drive in North Carolina, this was the hole. At least this is one of the holes I wanted to do it on. It's par 5. It's just a beautiful creek, and it's just majestic. You know, it's majestic. Got to the top of the hill, took 3-wood. You better believe I pulled that into a bunker. Why else? What else would I do? My yardage book was strange because it didn't incorporate, or I didn't read it right to see the bunkers. Maybe I was looking at a wrong hole. So I thought there was less bunkers in play, but still got up from there and made par. Back 9, definitely swinging the driver a tad bit better. There's Hogan's fairway. And this is another one. I kind of mishit that, but I like my tempo on that swing. And if you catch a good one on this hole, you can definitely catch a speed slope. This is a wedge shot. I hit a 7-iron in, and I just caught the false front. I guess it was tracking towards the flag and then just ran back. And I actually got up and down once again because that was a good chip. I think I did. I can't really remember. This, another position hole, pretty short. Pulled 3-wood, and then I just have to manufacture a shot out of the pine straw. Pretty forgiving approach shot. I think what I'm also noticing is I'm a pretty bad approach player, so I like courses where there's a little bit of leeway on approach. So like a course like Pinehurst number 2, not as much leeway. Don't like it as much. This is really like symbolizes pine needles. Look at how far that is from the green, but from the tee box you think that's right there. So I thought I hit it into the bunker. I actually flew over the bunker and had a fairly easy chip to make par, which was pretty sick. This is another aggressive line. You go over the tee box, kind of like you run parallel to the tee box from the last hole, and then it's a dog leg right. So you're constantly working the ball left to right, right to left. And I took on these bunkers, and I actually carried it. It feels like the par 5 scenic hole at Pacific Grove Golf Links in Pacific Grove. So the way that hole, that par 5, if you take the aggressive line, that's how this par 4 feels. Really bad approach shot from where I drove it. But then once again, 58 degree was working for your boy on this given day. So you might say, why do you just have a standalone hole? Why is there just like you talking and there's no you hitting a golf ball? Well, that's because I filmed this all wrong. And there's no point in me even showing you the golf shot because it's just like I'm way to the right and you're not going to see anything. But this is what this hole looks like. This is another one of these inward holes. And I'm really impressed with pine needles because I guess like I'm more drawn to foresty courses. And this course visually fit my eye, but it also offered some of those championship traits of a Donald Ross design, but it wasn't too punishing to the point where I just felt like an inadequate person, which is kind of what number 2 left me with, whereas number 4 left me with a smile on my face. This course is more of an extension of, hey, this can be a world-class challenge, but it's also a great course. This was a beautiful par 3. I thought I had a chance to really go with this pin. Caught it thin, as you could tell from that terrible strike. But I think if the greens hadn't been punched, that could have run up and gotten close. Finished that guy out. The last 2 tee shots at Pine Needles are some of the most difficult, especially for a not-so-good driver like myself. This is utterly embarrassing because I filmed this in slow motion, and I come over the top on every swing, and I aim really badly. So this is definitely going to be an LLL moment for any good golfer watching this. But you want to just take a target line where you kind of go at the house in the distance or maybe a little left of that. Watch this. This is so gross. Ugh. That is so embarrassing. Got to get a little bit better at the ball striking. But I got that out there, and I avoided the bunker, which was the big goal, was to not go in this bunker. You have to take on a risk reward of, do you want to challenge that bunker to your left-hand side, or do you want to stay right and have like a 190-yard shot? Went outside, caught this thin. It actually could have run to the green, but the good doctor, Donald Ross, put a bunker right where I was trying to dribble that shot in, and it penalized me. And that's good golf architecture, right? Because like my missed shot didn't get rewarded. Then I kind of did that. Long story short, double bogey. Very long, challenging hole. The 18th hole, also at Pine Needles. If you can't hit a draw with a driver, this is going to be a challenging hole because it's just a severe downhill hole. that requires a draw. Beautifully framed, and it runs parallel to the first tee. And this was a super good chip. I was so pumped on that. Thank you for watching this vlog. I appreciate anyone who contributes or subscribes or even likes a video. This is a passion project, and I'm just trying to do the best I can.